The SWAT team intercepted a mysterious shipping container during a mission. To their surprise, it did not contain the contraband from the intel. Instead, inside was a man with a scorpion tattoo, and from the sharp, cold look in his eyes, it was clear he was no ordinary person. At the same time, the police also caught the driver who was transporting the man. The counter-terrorism unit brought them both back to the station for questioning. The man called himself Scorpion, and no matter what questions they asked, he refused to say a word. The driver, on the other hand, was arrogant at first, but when he learned the man he was transporting was Scorpion, he suddenly lost control, shouting over and over, "Everyone here is going to die," before the officers could react. He slammed his head into the interrogation table. The chief arrived after hearing the commotion. He did not know exactly what happened, but after seeing the scene, he decided to question Scorpion himself during the interrogation. Scorpion claimed he had information in his head worth $10 billion, and he predicted that 2 fake agents would soon arrive to take him away. Not long after the chief received word that federal agents had come to take Scorpion. Remembering Scorpion's warning, the chief became very cautious on the way to see Scorpion. He used professional jargon to test the 2 men, but they could not answer any of it. Realizing they had been exposed, the 2 dropped the act and attacked. Even though the chief was prepared, he still almost got taken down. Luckily, 2 teammates arrived in time and saved him. Meanwhile, the crime boss learned his plan had failed and ordered his men to take out Scorpion again at the same time. Scorpion told the chief there was a mole inside the station, and staying there meant certain death. Despite everyone's objections, the chief decided to take Scorpion to a safe place by himself. What he did not know was that the crime boss had already sent hackers to breach the station's surveillance and placed a sniper ready to kill them both.
Wise to take cover. What?
Even though they managed to dodge the deadly bullets, the vehicle was so badly damaged it was completely disabled. Just then, a speeding car came to a sudden stop. Several masked robbers jumped out, grabbing saws and starting to cut into the car door. Inside the car, Scorpion stayed calm and collected. He cleverly used the saw blade to cut through his restraints and immediately got ready to fight. The robbers pried open the door and rushed inside, only to be taken down by Scorpion in an instant. Not long after, several more vehicles sped toward them. The situation turned critical. They had no choice but to retreat quickly and take shelter inside the police station, but more and more robbers surrounded the building. The station was completely encircled. They had to come up with a counterattack plan. They stripped the clothes off one of the dead robbers and put them on Scorpion, planning to have him pose as himself in disguise, pretending to surrender, then strike when the robbers got close. Once everything was ready, the technician opened the station gates. Sure enough, the robbers took the bait and approached in large numbers. But just as everyone was about to open fire, the robbers suddenly sensed something and quickly pulled back. It turned out someone inside the station had been using Morse code to tip them off. This meant there was a mole in the building. At that moment, the mole had already released the fake agent and told him how to open the blast doors. But before he could leave, a police officer arrived and spotted him. The fake agent quickly took out the mole, then fled the scene and cut the power to the defense system. The alarms blared. All the blast doors swung open. The robbers no longer held back and swarmed into the station like a flood.
At least I got you.
The mob boss knew some fighting skills, but under Scorpion's pressure, he kept losing ground. In the end, Scorpion kicked him flying, and the man was instantly impaled through the heart by a steel pipe. Meanwhile, the sheriff ran into a female assassin in the hallway. Her attacks were fierce. One kick sent the sheriff onto the rooftop. She then rushed forward, engaging the sheriff in close combat. But the sheriff sidestepped and pushed her off the building. With that, all threats seemed to be eliminated. The sheriff found the unconscious female officer in the corridor. The 3 of them sat together at the police station entrance, waiting for backup to arrive. At that moment, Scorpion suddenly pulled a fake tooth from his mouth. Inside was a hidden microchip. It turned out he had been an undercover agent for the FBI all along, living among the mob boss to gather evidence. The chip contained the mob boss' entire criminal record. This was why the mob boss would stop at nothing to get rid of Scorpion. But then, the unexpected happened. The female officer suddenly shot Scorpion, grabbed the chip from the ground, and fled the scene. The truth came out. She was actually the mole the mob had planted in the police station. The sheriff gave chase, but fell into the female officer's ambush. The 2 fought hand to hand. It did not take long before the female officer was overpowered and taken away for questioning. Soon after, the coroner asked the sheriff to identify Scorpion's body. Although the man wore Scorpion's clothes, it was obvious he was not Scorpion at all. Yet the sheriff chose not to expose the truth.